Recently, somebody on one of my Excel workshops had a problem with their data. They had exported data from another system that they use in their organization into Excel. And they had a column that showed dates and times together. They wanted to have the date in one column and the time in another column so that they could then sort their data in the way that they wanted to. The text to columns feature wasn't working for them just because of the format and the type of data that had come in from their other system. So I showed them an alternative, and it was the INT function. So this INT function is what I'm going to show you in this video. We're going to be using the INT function to achieve the result that we're looking for. And what I'm looking for is to have the date in this column and the time in this column. Behind the date and time is a number. So the reason that the INT function works is that the INT function rounds a number to an integer or whole number. So if I show you what I mean here, if I highlight these cells and just change the formatting from the date and time formatting to number, that shows me the number with 2 decimal places. The decimal places are the time, and the full number, or the number preceding that, is the date. So I just undo that. So if I round this to an integer, it will just give me the date. And from there, we'll work out the time. So I'm going to click on the cell that I want my formula to go into, and I'm going to type equals int, and I'll just either double click on that to bring it up or type my bracket. And then I click on the cell that I want to round to a whole number. I'll just close my bracket and press enter. So I'm going to copy this down, and then I will need to change the format. So let's put it into the short date format. But before I do that, you can see there's no times associated with this now. It is purely the date as it's been rounded to a whole number. So let's change that to the short date format. So now again, bearing in mind that in the background it's a number, what I'm going to be doing is subtracting the date from the date and the time. So in here, I'm going to do equals the date and time minus the date. And if I press enter, that gives me just the time. Currently, it's in number format. If I copy it down, and then I'm going to change it to the time format. This will work in the same way in Google Sheets. So if you use Google Sheets rather than Excel, it will work in the same way. We can have a quick look at that format again if we want to, if I show you it in the number format. So again, we can see it's got those decimal places. We'll just undo that. And I'm going to use my int function to select the date and the time together. That will round it to a whole number, which I will then format to be a date format. And then with the time, I'm going to do equals the date and time minus the date. And that will give me the remainder, which will be the time. So let's copy that one down, and we can format that in the time format. And I missed a couple there. Let's just highlight those 2 and format those in the short date format. So that solved her problem, and I think it's a really good one to know actually, because it's pretty quick and easy when you know how. If you have any questions about this video, or you would like some help using Excel or Google Sheets for you or your team or your organization, please do get in touch.